which American wrestlers could medal in Nur-Sultan? That is the biggest question that a lot of you have been asking. Who could medal? Which styles of wrestling are our wrestlers going to medal in? And how is Team USA going to do overall? It's a very, very interesting question that we're going to dive into. First of all, let's look at how Team USA did at the 2018 World Championships. Team USA actually finished in 3rd place overall. First place was Russia with 13 medals. Second place was Japan with 10 medals. And then 3rd place, like I said, was the USA with 12 medals. It comes down to the scoring system, and where we kind of lacked in Greco-Roman scoring, we made up for tenfold in freestyle and men's and women's freestyle, and I don't think there's going to be much of a difference this year. As far as each of these styles, Greco-Roman, silver medalist last year, Adam Kuhn, is returning to this lineup, and I see him getting to the finals again. He's shown that he's a dominant wrestler. He battled his way in Final Ash, crushed all of his opponents. I think he's going to make the finals again, whether he gets gold or silver. It's really going to depend on the competition and all that, but I'd like to see him back in the finals. I'd also like to see Coleman and Hancock going from not placing in the past to getting onto that podium. It'd be great to get a couple more Greco-Roman guys to grow that style of wrestling. Now, women's freestyle. I am very, very excited for the women's freestyle team and see how they do this year, because last year they finished in 3rd in freestyle behind Japan and China. Japan had 7 medals. They had 4 gold medalists. And then China had 5 medalists, and they actually just had 1 champion, and that's similar to the U.S. We had 4 medalists with 1 gold. Now, as far as 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, that's kind of where I'm counting these medals. Now, gold was Adeline Gray. Silver was Sarah Hildebrandt, and then we had 2 bronze medals. Returning to the team is Adeline Gray, Sarah Hildebrandt, and Tamara Stock. And each of those women, I really believe, can win gold again, as far as a couple of other women as well. Now, gold for sure, I got to give Gray she's a 3-time world champion, multiple-time world medalist, and I think she has it in her again to win a world championship. I'd also like to see Sarah Hildebrandt and Allie Reagan finish silver, or obviously go for that gold. I like to see 10 out of 10 U.S. women and men go for gold and get gold, but unfortunately that doesn't always happen. Bronze, I'd like to see Tamara and Kaitlyn Miracle. Kaitlyn Miracle, I think what's very interesting about her is that she beat Team USA's former bronze medalist in Mallory Velty, and I think that coming in this weekend, coming in hot, she has a chance to medal. And then the other placers that I think on the women's team, you could have Jakara Winchester, who was a previous 5th place medalist, and Forrest Molinari, who was a previous 5th place medalist as well. If they can get onto the podium and get those top spots, I really believe that they can help Team USA maybe crank up from that 3rd place finish to a 2nd or 1st and beat Japan and China. Now, this is one of the places that you don't see Russia on the list, but in men's freestyle, yes, they are on the list. So who can medal this year for Team USA, who finished in 2nd last year? Well, in the past, they had 3 gold medalists. Of course, unfortunately, David Taylor is out, but Jaden Cox and Kyle Dake are returning world champions who will be in the lineup again this year and will be going for that gold medal. Now, Cox is number 1 in the world right now in his weight class, but the number 2 guy in his weight class is an Iranian. This will be another tough match for Jaden Cox, but just like Kyle Dake, which I'll get to in a minute, Cox has really crushed his way through world level events, and I see him doing the same thing again. Now, number 2, Jordan Burroughs is possibly one of the most exciting brackets, at least as far as I'm concerned. And please comment who you think is the most who's going to be the most exciting match to watch at the World Championships. Jordan Burroughs is number 2 in the world. Number 1 is a Russian, Sidikov, and then number 3 in the world is Frank Chamizo, the Italian. These 3 guys are just top tier athletes. It's going to be interesting to see how each of them does and who comes out in the finals of that bracket at the weight. Now, each of these guys, what's also interesting about them is they're all world champions in the past at different weight classes, but they are all world champions. They're all going to collide at some point in the bracket, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'd love to see Burroughs come out on top as a champion, and I think it's going to happen again this year. Now, as far as Kyle Dake, he is the number 1 guy in the world, and the number 2 guy in the world is a Russian. But he's already beat one of the other top, I think he's number 3 or 4 in the world, in Alex Dieringer. Dieringer, of course, was his opponent at Final X, who we waited all summer to see and watch wrestle these two. And Kyle Dake beat him pretty handily, and I think that Dake, just like in the past, is going to, I don't want to call it a cakewalk, but he's going to walk into the finals and win another world championship. Who else can make it to the finals? Well, Nick Gwiazdowski, I think, has a very, very good chance. He's wrestled medal bronze in the past, multiple times. And then Kyle Snyder. Snyder versus Sudalayev. Snyder is the number 2 guy in the world, and Sudalayev from Russia is the number 1 guy. This will be their 3rd straight finals, going back to back to back if they both make it. I love to see Kyle Snyder coming out on top and seeing that happen. Now, Sudalayev, for those of you who don't know, he's nothing to scoff about. This guy is the number 1 pound-for-pound wrestler in the world. Russians see him as pretty much a hero. He is an unbelievable athlete. Can Kyle Snyder beat him again? He's done it in the past, but can he do it again? I think so. And maybe that's just the American patriot in me that thinks America is just going to come out on top and win it all, but I'd really like to see it happen. Who else can medal? I think Zane Rutherford has a very strong shot. He's beat Yanni Diakomahalis. Now, of course, these two have very, very different styles of wrestling, and that plays into the overseas wrestling, the international wrestling. But I think Zane has shown that he can come out on top and place at the World Championships. You could also see Dayton Fix. Dayton Fix, junior world champion. Now, let's see how it equates to the senior level, see how he's going to do. James Green and Tyler Graff, 2 guys. Green's medaled in the past, and Graff has beat the Team USA's bronze medalist in the past. 2 guys, I'd like to see them on the podium. And then, of course, Downey. Pat Downey is the underdog. And I guess it's just mostly because he didn't have that Final X wrestle-off. Now, he earned his way to that wrestle-off. Absolutely, do not get me wrong. But people still see him as the underdog. They wish David Taylor was here. And yeah, I would love to see David Taylor here too. But who's to say that Pat Downey wouldn't have beat David Taylor at Final X? I don't know. We don't know what would have happened. But all we can do right now is support Pat Downey and what he's going to do. And I'd love to see him get on that podium and prove everybody wrong. And that's who's going to wrestle for Team USA and how they could medal. Please let me know who you think is going to medal for Team USA.